Welcome to Psychic Holistic Spotlight. I'm your host, Josie Way. Co-hosting with me tonight is Bill Hannon and Patty McGarrahan. Our guest is Sha Blackburn. And I'm calling this show, the episode, the Tartan Special. I love when we have synchronicities. Spirit must have something very interesting in mind. Excellent. You do quite a few things. You call yourself the Loon Witch, and you teach about witchcraft, and you also do healing, and you used two types of aura cameras, the old-fashioned one and the new digital one.
Yep.
So, what would you like to hear about today?
I don't know. I'd like to hear about the witchcraft classes,
Okay.
actually. Because, I'm a rebel out of it.
Okay. That's totally fine.
And the thing I love, one thing I did want to say, the thing I love about you is my shaman teacher introduced us to witchcraft, Wiccan, all the different healing routes and Reikis and stuff like that. And I love the fact that you include them all into your program.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think the more tools in our toolbox, the better we are.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because that's the best way to reach the most people, and a lot of people have preconceived ideas of what something is.
And it also gives you a broader foundation, as you start to build your foundation with all these different disciplines.
Yep.
Things just kind of fall in place that kind of fills a void between something you knew and something that you weren't aware of. And
That's true.
It makes it easier for you to move into a different direction with somebody if you need to.
Yep.
And a lot of the holistic people around, I don't know if you feel that way, they have had different associations with shamanism. And I've taught some Reiki people that as soon as we set the class up, the Reiki's coming out of their hands like they're a Reiki master for Reiki 1.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So a lot of people, I know I've done shamanism in past lives, I know I've done witchcraft in past lives, and I know I've done Wiccan in past life. I've done a lot of different things, so it's so cool that you combine them all.
You're probably still doing witchcraft now and you just don't know it.
That's why I wanted to hear about it to see if I'm doing it. I do know my kids don't like my do-do-do fingers.
One of my favorite classes to teach is called Magic from Everyday Items. And so you can go into your cabinet, and if you have salt and pepper, you can do magic. And that is witchcraft. Witchcraft is a folkloric system of living in harmony with your environment, understanding how the different components of your everyday life can enhance your everyday life, as opposed to, you use salt and pepper to flavor your food, but a lot of times you can also use salt to nurture the body. You can use salt to protect yourself. It also is really good to soften your skin.
Yep.
Tenderizes your meat. And pepper, I don't know if you know, with black pepper, if you sprinkle it, you know how you get those little no-see-um ants in the summertime, right? And they get into everything.
Right.
If you sprinkle a little line of black pepper, they won't cross the line.
Ooh,
right?
Good to know.
Witch tip number 1. So
isn't salt used around the doorways and
it can be,
entryways?
Yes, I usually use sea salt for that, but it's
to protect.
Yep, to protect, but you can also sprinkle pepper to keep the pests away. You got somebody that keeps coming to your house and they're bringing a ton of negativity. Sprinkle a little black pepper on the door.
I'm going to buy a lot of black pepper this
and
week.
they leave their negativity at the door.
Excellent, excellent.
In a very different vein, if you use pepper along with turmeric, it works better.
That's right, because the pepper activates the turmeric.
Yeah.
Right, and also the pepper acts like a vasodilator, so your capillaries open more, and therefore the turmeric gets further into your cells.
Yep.
Yeah.
and it's good for you.
And it's good for you.
Absolutely.
Yes, I had a girl come to my house and she did a kitchen witching class
Oh,
at
yeah.
my house. That was actually a real lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then my house used to be on a farm, so there was this was back 20 some years ago, so it was the restaurants on Federal Hill that had like the lettuce that had like the purple in it and stuff like that. They didn't have it at the regular restaurants back then.
Right.
So I had 11 people on my front lawn. My husband was hiding out at a friend's shop, didn't want to know anything that was going on there.
Right.
And all of a sudden she says, and that's the one that they have in a lot of the fancy restaurants, like on Federal Hill. And out of 11 people, 8 bent over and just grabbed some of it and started eating it off my front lawn. My whole neighborhood was like, whoa.
What's going on over there, right? Yeah, and that's a big part of what witchcraft is understanding the folklore. All of the wives' tales that we hear as kids growing up and mythology, there's truth in those things, you know?
Sure. Well, some of the chemical constituents of plants, I mean, there may be tannins which would cause things to pucker up more.
Yep.
Or, I mean, there's so many different things that
Yeah.
plants are useful for.
And even when you think about, there's biblical stories, and the mustard seed is one of my favorite parables in the Bible. Is the parable of the seed, and it is something that I use when I start a long-term, like a year-long program of study with people. We talk about that story. And I ask them to go away and think about what kind of seed they're going to be. But I also use mustard in my wish powder. And when I need to make an offering and take a leap of faith, I take some mustard seeds and I cast them out, you know, with just, I'm taking a leap of faith that these seeds are going to go where they need to go. And my prayers, my energy is going to go where it needs to go. So, you know, you don't always have to go to a New Age store and spend a lot of money on products. It's nice to have, but you don't always have to, because you can just...
And a few crystals always land in your
Of
bucket.
course, absolutely, absolutely, right? You can't have a world without crystals. It's not a nice world.
It's all nature.
It is.
Yes.
It is. You know, and you can find quartz locally, just walking around on the beach as well. But it's, you know, the stores are nice, and I work in a lot of different shops, so I certainly don't want to negate the need for them. But we have so many resources, you know, in our own kitchens. We have so many resources in our own homes that
Absolutely.
can bring us to a place of spirituality and connecting to our environment, you know.
And I gotta say, I was stunned when I found out, like, some of the spices and stuff, you probably know a lot more about it, that had such great help.
Yeah.
You know, with your health and certain things, what it does for you and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It blew my mind.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. And what it does, you know, when you're consuming plant medicine, I guess we're on a theme, but, but when you're consuming plant medicine, what it does internally in the body, it will do externally energetically. You know, if you want to ease somebody's pain, you can take some sassafras leaves or some sassafras root and you can place it with a picture of that person and send them some healing energy, send them some intention. You could sprinkle black pepper and turmeric on somebody's photo to reduce inflammation.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the intention of that healing work, that's witchcraft,
Absolutely.
you know.
I'm going to switch us from the herbal to some of the other things that lots of people use witchcraft when they're not thinking about it. When you light a candle to commemorate someone, when you light a candle to wish for somebody. I made candles for a while, and you didn't have to. You would be amazed what can come from a candle.
Absolutely.
I started working with angels because of candles.
Really?
Yeah. They started communicating to me
Yep.
through candles. But something as simple item as a candle, a simple white candle,
Yeah.
you can do all sorts of beneficial stuff that used to be known as magic.
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
That is true. I have a candle. The candle represents the community fire. So in shamanism, the community fire is the life of the people. And when I'm getting ready to start a day of seeing clients all day long, that's one of the first things I do is I light my community fire. And it's obviously being in a small building, you can't have a big blazing bonfire.
No.
But a candle suffices.
Along that line now, why don't you share with us what a typical day may be like for you with your clients?
Wow, a typical day.
Well, maybe
I
just
imagine
one or two.
They're very varied days.
They're very
Yes,
varied
of
days,
course.
yes. It does depend on the time of year. This time of year, from August until probably about November, tarot is big. You know, everybody wants to look into the future, see what's happening. And I will say that tarot and aura photography are my most popular items or services that I provide. But when we get into the darker part of the year, after the holidays, that's when people will come and they want spiritual guidance. And spiritual guidance, when I do a session like that, I'm incorporating everything that I have access to. You might come and we'll just sit and talk about what are you looking to gain, you know, and I will intuitively know what's going to help you get to the place where you want to be in your life. And it's similar to like life coaching or spiritual coaching, but we're working together to help you problem solve or set up good boundaries. And sometimes I'm teaching you some folkloric things that you can do, because those simple acts make us feel so much better.
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely.
And
I had a lady that she was a nervous wreck. They had to move because of her husband's health issues back up to Rhode Island from Florida, like the opposite of what everybody else does. And the house for sale was not selling. And she was everything fell through, like everything happened. So I had her light a candle. And I had her light actually a green and a white candle.
Okay.
And I had her go into a meditative state. And then I had her picture the soul sign on the house.
Yep.
And she said to me, I did it a second time. And she had 2 offers the next day.
Nice.
One from each
Right.
time she did it.
Right, yeah.
So it's amazing how much that
Oh yeah,
works. Yes.
absolutely. Good old St. Joe upside down in the
That's
front
right,
yard,
yeah.
some
That's right.
marigolds planted by
Yeah.
the front door. Yep. The smell of fresh cookies,
Oh, yeah.
right?
All those things
You can-
work. Yes.
Yeah, and it's all things that we normally, well, except for St. Joe upside down. You know, a lot of people do plant marigolds,
Right.
and a lot of people
And
do
a lot of
bake
people
cookies.
do use St. Joseph.
Of course, yeah. I think you can even get house selling kits at La Salette.
Oh, can you? Oh
I
my
think
God.
you can.
I have
yes.
seen them there.
Yeah.
Really? I go
Yes.
there all the time. I never noticed it.
Yeah.
I'm usually chasing grandkids, so.
Well, there you go,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But yeah, and it's important that people feel like they're doing something, even sprinkling pepper on the doorstep.
Well,
you know,
it's the intention.
it is.
It's
It
all
is.
about the intention.
And that's how you shift your energy.
And
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much intention was. I like to do stonework because, again, I like my rocks,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I put them on the Reiki table, and I would put the chakra stones on them. And I was working with women that were having troubles conceiving, and nothing was physically wrong with them or
Yep.
their husband, but they couldn't conceive. And it was miraculous because it happened right away. And a girl called me crying that she found out that it had worked. She heard it through word of mouth, but she lived out of state. So I did it to her over the phone in a
Right, a remote
meditative
healing.
hypnosis. And it worked just as well. 3
Yep.
weeks later, she was
Yeah.
pregnant. So it's pretty amazing
Oh, yeah.
how.
Intention is, you know, it's they say-
Intention is the motivator
It
of the
is,
universe.
right? Like possession is 9/10 of the law. Intention is 9/10 of the magic.
I'm healthy. I'm a healthy skeptic, so I have to try things multiple times to see. And I got to
Yep.
tell you something. It's worked every time. It's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
why you manifest so strongly.
Yeah.
You try it several times.
Try it. No, I'm not talking about for the same person. Like I had to get other people and work with them, the same thing,
Right.
Because I have to know it's.
Right.
I call it a healthy skeptic. Sometimes it's a little over
Yep.
skeptic, but I call it a healthy skeptic.
I say I'm a healthy skeptic too. When
Do ya? That's my
I
favorite
debunk
expression.
myself all the time. You know, if I'm doing a reading for somebody and I I see that they're upset about something, and then it comes up in the cards that they're upset, usually I can pinpoint what it is that they're upset about, but if they're visibly upset, I kind of feel like, well, I can see you're upset.
Absolutely, yep.
But this card and this card are showing me that you're upset about this.
But
certain
something
thing.
more
Cards are just-
specific.
The cards are just confirming
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
what you're intuitively seeing.
Exactly.
What I always ask for, I have running water. I keep a spirit guide in the room right with me. It's an Indian
Yeah.
gentleman. And I ask him to show the light at the end of the tunnel afterwards, because a lot of our worst circumstances
Oh, yeah.
are to open a new door.
Right.
Right.
And so I try to make sure that I tell them the new door that opens up. Still, sometimes they want what they want, so they're not
Well,
too
yes.
happy. But a year later, they're going, yes, the new
Right?
door opened up.
Exactly.
Well, I always
exactly.
ask, don't show me the problem without showing me a solution.
A solution. Yep.
Excellent. Yep.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like to address something that I can't help them
Yeah, I mean,
manage.
it's all very good and well for people to hear and for you to commiserate with them about what they're going through. And that's beneficial in its own way. But you do want to say, if you look into this, you might find some help.
But you also find that I absolutely love, because it happens so often, that so many times when people are really like losing it because they've got so much going on in the negative, when they come to us, they're near the end of that.
Yes.
And the white light is opening up for them. And
Yeah.
I think it's so fun, because I get to
Right.
tell them that very shortly this, and this is going to happen.
Because by the time they come to us, they're ready for a change.
Absolutely.
And the reason we stay stuck in these negative patterns for so long is because it's better the devil you know, right?
Yep.
We're not ready to make that change because change is scary and it's hard, and we just don't want to a lot of times, So when we're finally ready, that's when we seek that extra help, and we go to somebody, I don't want to see a psychiatrist, or I don't want to talk to my minister, or I can't talk to my best friend, she'll think I'm crazy. I'm going to go to a psychic. Because we can't think that they're crazy.
Right.
We've seen it all, heard it all.
No. But
I love that.
to get back towards what my question was before, I understand that you have a couple devices in your office that people can use, that you're able to observe changes and
Yes.
so
aura stuff.
yes, right.
Yeah.
And I think that that'd be important for people to be aware of,
Oh, I love
because
that,
that's
yeah.
a great tool.
So I've been doing aura photography for a little over 20 years. Probably a lot over 20 years now. And when I first got into it, it was the old aura camera that I always felt like a mad scientist, because it was
That's
this
right.
big giant box, and you've got the two hand
Hands on
plates,
each,
right? And you
right.
got to sit there and hold the plunger down to take the picture, and you never know what you're going to get.
That's
There's
right.
no nothing.
No.
And I enjoyed doing that, but then we had to all switch over to the digital because they stopped producing that Polaroid style film.
I gotcha.
So when I switched to digital in 2016, I, like many people, was like, I don't want the change.
Right.
This is what I know. How is it going to be? And what I've noticed is that now, because it's digital, I can videotape. Well, not videotape, but I can digitally record the aura as it's changing. So when people come now and they do an aura photo, I can see what their aura is doing before I take the picture. I can manage if somebody comes in and they're under a lot of stress and I see that anxiety, I can talk to them about it
Right.
before I take the picture.
Right.
And I can share that with them before I take the picture. So if they want to do something different, change what their aura is showing, we can work on that. And I've developed these aura healing sessions where you can select from a short list of healing types, and I put you on the Reiki table and monitor your aura. I record what's going on with the aura, and then I narrate what the changes are.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So-
Excellent. Now, does the new digital show you, because I remember Grateful Heart in Wickford.
In
which
Wickford, yeah.
Right.
I miss terribly. I love the energy in there. That like my aura picture 3 different times, like 3, and it could have been 5 years in between each one,
Yeah.
always showed this white apparition like on one side of me.
Okay.
Does it show it on the
It
digitals?
does. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to see those
those,
things.
yeah.
Yep. And they're not.
That's why I was going to say it's so
Yeah.
interesting because with the picture format they had before, you could actually occasionally see orbs around somebody. Yeah, well,
Yes.
definitely distinct orbs. It wasn't like
Yes.
something with a film.
Right.
You know, it's,
Exactly.
This was an outline of a woman. It looked like a woman outlined that was always next to me.
Yeah.
And I
probably
laughed
a
because
spirit
every
guide.
time I came, one of the many, I work the bones on.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm the one with the spirit guys that's doing that all the time.
Yeah, you can still see
they
them in the
take shifts.
digital. Yeah.
right.
It's a little bit different. It's not as three-dimensional, but I have had some really interesting experience where I've seen animal faces and yeah, and things like that.
Don't
hit your microphone. And so it is very interesting, and you have a better visual to other things that are going on. There's more. Not more. There's a better ability to see the shadows and the delineations of the different shades of color
Okay.
in the digital format.
And the shifting as the healing's going on, you could probably see the shifting of the energy from one area to another, or some
Yep.
darkness lifting,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
which is really a great feature to be able to share with a person.
it is.
Absolutely.
It is. It's very impressive. I was nervous about it, and then I just, like many things, I just jumped in and said, "Well, this is what we're doing," and I really like it better than the old.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I've never had it done with the thing.
Oh.
Other than somebody was here and we held the button or something, but not really, and it just showed a color.
Yeah.
But I've never had it done with the other.
Oh.
So.
You'll have to come by.
I mean,
sounds
play.
great.
Where do you play?
I have an office in Plainville, Mass.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my question.
I'm sorry, I stole it.
Well, you girls are psychic, so come on, don't be.
Well, we could stand here and say, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And that's the show.
Right? Thanks for watching.
Yep.
Yeah, I recently moved to Plainville. I'm right on Route 152, next to Pizzoni's Pizza. I'm inside a wellness center called Wicked Peaceful Mind, Body, and Soul.
Oh, I like the
Wicked
name.
Peaceful.
Wicked
Wicked
Peaceful.
Peaceful.
I
Yep.
like it.
Bostonian approach.
Exactly. We're right down the street from the Patriots.
Ah,
Easy to find.
yeah, that's
And you
great.
get a pizza after.
Right? Exactly. A lot of times I get pizza during the day.
Do you? Yes.
Yes.
But isn't it great when you have that variety of things that you do?
It is.
Like
Oh, yeah.
if I do mediumship, like I did 8 readings the other Sunday on mediumship, 8 or 10, I can't even remember. But when I did that, I'm exhausted. But if you flip it so that, like another day, I had one reading that was regular tarot.
Yeah.
The next reading was animal communication. They wanted just animal communication. Then you have a Reiki session. It's the day goes by so fast.
Oh, yeah. That is true.
And Spirit loves it when you have a lot of tools in your toolbox.
That's my
Yes.
favorite saying.
Yep.
Spirit loves it because they can work with you.
Yeah.
If they can't get through one avenue, they'll get through another avenue.
Right? You're a clear channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the hollow bone.
Yes.
The hollow bone.
The hollow bone. That's what
Hollow
we're
bone.
meant to be. Yeah.
Yep. Got a whole house full of them.
And so
Nice.
you do Reiki then?
I do. I do Reiki. I do shamanic healing. I do crystal healing.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
with shamanic healing, do you work with drums and
I do. Yep.
and herbs and things like
Yeah.
that? Yes.
I do.
And crystals.
And crystals. Yeah. I work with everything. I also have a Native American spirit guide or helping spirit, he'll correct me, that I've been working with for a few years now, probably about 3 years now, and he's found odd little ways to manifest himself in the physical. Some man gave me a coyote jawbone one day.
Wow.
And said the name of my helping spirit as he was giving it to me.
So yours told you your name right away? Mine tortured me for 5 years.
Oh, yeah, no, I thought I was being haunted, so I was doing some psychopomp work, and I went, you go to the place that you think is haunted to help the spirit get energized to go where they need to go. And when I showed up there and was like, hi, my name is Sha, I just want to see if you're okay. Can I help you get someplace? And he was like, I'm your helping spirit. And I was like, oh, sorry.
I had sometimes
Nice
they-
introduction.
Right.
Oh, I'm not really trying to get rid of you.
I was like, oh, I thought you were haunting.
Yes, but I got to tell you, mine was fresh. Years and years before that, Lori, she was the English medium. She and her mother had a tea room in Woonsocket for years, and
Okay.
I was friends with her and did some shows and stuff with her. Early on, before I was really into, I did do tarot card readings, but wasn't really involved in everything else. She said to me, "Ooh, you have the same spirit guide as my mother." So all of a sudden, I'm in the car and I'm going to pick up Lori and we're going to lunch, and I see running water sitting on the thing. And I turned to him and I go, I'm going to find out your name today. The person in the car next to me must have said, wow, what's wrong with this lady? And I'm like cocky saying, I'm going to find out your name today. I'm going to ask Lori what her mother's spirit guide was. So he says to me, running water. It's clear as you and I are talking.
Yep.
And then I go to the door. Lori opens the door and she goes, running water. Why did I just say my mother's spirit guide's name?
Wow.
Which confirmed it, yeah.
Yep,
but the
absolutely.
trunk next to me, he's looking at me having a conversation with an empty seat, and this is way before we had all the Wi-Fi, in our cars and stuff. So he knew I was just nuts. So
Yes. Yes. As other people ponder that train of thought.
so it is fun. when you can do-
So let me ask you, how people get in touch with you?
Well, they can find me on my website, loonwitch.com.
Okay.
That's the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay.
If you Google the Loon Witch, there's like 6 pages, all kinds of stuff about me.
Okay.
Yeah, like your friend Brett, I'm the only Loon Witch.
Excellent.
Right.
No, I love the fact that you do all that stuff because I think that's so important.
One thing that I heard you tell me that you did before that not too many people do is runes.
Yes,
And
I love the runes.
they're special.
They are. They're an ancient alphabet.
Right.
They're still in use.
It's just another divining tool, basically,
Yes.
Yep.
so you can
Yep.
get the information. Somebody's there for insight
Yeah.
or answers.
Yep. It's
And
also
just
an
another-
interesting way to look at words
Yep.
and the energy that those words can create through the runes. Or I do your name in runes, which is really interesting.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I was stuck on that, and I got really so that I was good at it, and
Yeah.
then my head went into 20 other different directions, and I kind of lost it.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got somebody that's been teaching a class at my shop on
Oh,
it.
nice.
And I'm intrigued now
Yeah.
again.
When I teach them as the alphabet first. Because you
Yep.
don't forget your ABCs.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
Excellent.
sense.
That's a
Yep.
great idea.
And some of the games that I have people play is rune boggle. So you shake up the runes and you slap them on the table. Anything that's face up, you have to spell words with.
Wow.
Oh, that is
Boggle.
excellent.
That's a good game.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's a lot of fun, and then people get,
You know,
excited.
that would really give you a lot of insight as to what's going on behind
Yeah.
the energy of the letters.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Wow, that's excellent.
Everything you brought up, used one word, it's energy. Everything and all sorts of energy has one thing in common, frequency.
Vibration, frequency.
vibration.
Right?
Absolutely.
Everything is about vibration.
Sure,
That's right.
sure.
We were on the same vibration today, except I forgot my blazer.
Oh,
Oh, that's right there, you bitch. Oh, that's so bad. Hey, we should have called and done matching ones,
right?
so that we should have put on a pink dress today.
Well, I could have worn purple.
Yes, yes. So, but one of the other things that I wanted to ask is,
Make it quick. We're almost
we're
over.
almost done. Oh, sorry about that. Do you do any ceremonies?
I do.
Do you?
I do.
I had
And
a feeling.
I do have open public ceremonies at my office.
Excellent.
I do full moons, and I do all the Sabbats, and I do a shamanic drum circle every month.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a feeling it went with the rest of the package. I had a feeling.
Right.
So,
It does. 30
Yeah.
seconds. I'm a full package witch.
Well, one of the most important things I just learned this past week was I was just watching a seminar, and basically one of the things they said was, it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, it doesn't matter all the people you know, unless you implement it,
It's true.
it's a waste of time.
Right.
You have to implement what you're learning,
Yes, absolutely.
right?
Got to use it.
Yep.